What's up, nerds? It's Corey, and I'm pleased to announce we're giving away 2 codes for Sekiro Shadows Die Twice for PlayStation 4. One for our YouTube subscribers and one for our audio listeners. The rules are simple. For YouTube, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, screenshot your subscription, and send it to ngrradiopodcast@gmail.com along with your name, PSN ID, and why you're a fan. For our audio listeners, we'd like you to go to whatever podcast service you listen to us on, preferably iTunes, but anything works. Rate us, comment on your rating and why you're a fan, then screenshot your review and rating, and email us at ngrradiopodcast@gmail.com. This contest is for new and existing fans, so get your entries in now. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is out March 22nd, so the winner will be announced on March 18th's live episode. Join us on youtube.com/ngrradio at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time if you want to find out who won or check the following week's podcast. Thank you so much for your support. Now on with the show.
All right. Who has a question? Because I don't have any.
Man, I'm really disappointed you guys got that game. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I picked a really good one.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. It was a good one, man. I don't know why you think this was a bad one.
It wasn't good enough. I didn't win.
That's all right. You can't win them all.
I'm still winning. You're not used to that as a Cleveland sports fan by now?
Dude, I got a little hasty. We had a halfway decent season this year, okay?
Okay, so I'm just going to start with these questions. We'll go right down. Because I'm just now seeing the message that Corey sent with all the questions in them. Greg Osterman III says, "Hello, Rogue Squadron. Haven't emailed in a while, but thought I'd give it a shot again." Yeah, it is a good one, right? First of all, welcome, Captain Canada. It's nice to see the captain now has a voice. Second, I want a Nerds Gone Rogue shirt. Third,
so do I.
Me too. Me too. I've been trying to figure out.
Why don't you make some for us, Greg?
No, I have them. I'm waiting for everybody's address. I have Moose's.
Matt. I've been trying to figure out if I should just go all digital or try to have some sort of physical collection. As someone who grew up collecting all I could get my hands on, games, movies, toys, etc., it's hard for me to let go of that mentality, but as my wife and I are expecting a child, I really don't want all of this laying around for it to grab, chew, destroy, and what have you. But I feel like I'd be lying to myself if I didn't say I would miss my collections. So what is your best solution to my potential problem?
So what I think, here's my solution. I'm going to jump on it first.
Go right ahead.
What he should do is he should do a mix. Like he should do a mix of digital and physical. And what he should do is he should get like the collector's editions that offer like what he really would want. Like I love my collector's edition of the Binding of Isaac for my Switch. Now also it would depend on what platform you're talking about. Yeah. If it's like just PS4 or if it's Switcher, like you could get the really cool collector's edition boxes, you know, you'd have to invest in it. But I would, in my personal opinion, in that type of situation, I would not go for any regular edition of a game physical unless you could get it for like way dirt cheap because it's a physical copy. I would stick to digital and then only get like special editions. Like I want to get the Salt and Sanctuary edition for Switch, which comes with the soundtrack, comes with a map, and then a poster of the first boss on the other side of it. Like it comes with a lot of cool stuff that I would want to collect, and then I can fold up and put in the case and keep it nice and protected if I don't have anywhere to display it. So that's my opinion on whether you should go physical or digital. I think you should have a happy medium, you know. So.
I think that so I don't know what everyone has different situation in terms of their financial situation, but I can speak from experience that when you do have a kid, there's going to be a lot of extra expenses that you're not used to. So I would personally go for wherever you can get the cheapest price, be that digital or physical. If there's a game you really love and you want to have a collection, maybe get that one physical. But, you know, I always think the best version to get is the cheapest one because the game is the same. Unless it comes with, as Moose was saying, you know, a bunch of stuff. Or we had this question a little while ago, and I talked about why I bought Witcher 3 physical, because it came with extras that made it worth it to me. I mean, unless the version you're getting comes with all that stuff, for me, I would just get digital. It's just much more convenient, especially with the kid around. That does happen. Discs being grabbed or ejected out of a console. So yeah, I would personally, I prefer digital, so I would tell you to go there. But yeah, as Moose was saying, a little bit of a mix. But it's almost like it sounds almost like he's decided to go digital. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he just wants to have a few physical things because he likes collecting. And hey, I get that.
Yeah, I like collecting the physicals too.
Yeah, I totally get that. So, maybe get a few. Yeah, I mean, like Moose and I are, not Moose, sorry. Keel and I are record collectors. Like,
I mean, I can stop whenever I want. I don't.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I've got a bunch back there. And so trust me, I get having a physical collection. If you have the space for it and you have the means, go for it. But otherwise, I think digital is just a better value usually.
It also depends on like if he has his own room. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Are you like you were saying, the financial situation, are you well enough off to have like your own gaming room? Like, I got a buddy of mine who has his own gaming room, and so he has all his like figurines and stuff from like he plays he used to play Magic. He likes watching people play League, so he has a bunch of statues like on shelving in this room. And so, when you leave the room, just close the door behind you and the kid can't get into it. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you can section, like quarantine the kid away from getting at your stuff, then maybe having the nice physical stuff is not an issue, but like you said, I think I agree with you. Cheapest, like whatever is the cheapest for you, especially with, I didn't even think, I wasn't even thinking of that. Like having a kid on the way, like unexpected expenses can be an issue. So it's like, what cheapest you can get it, and is he in Canada where games are more expensive, and like you do, Phillips, where like you could pre-order the week of E3 for like extra amounts off, and then cancel them if you don't want the pre-orders, or he might live in America, that that could be a situation too. And like sometimes you go out and you're like, holy crap, this game's like $20 and it's normally like 60. I'm just gonna pick it up. You know what I mean?
We don't. Here we don't pay sales tax on PSN, but we do on Xbox Live, right? So buying on PSN, even if it was $79 on PSN, still cheaper for me to buy it there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he should do mostly digital, and then the stuff that is near and dear to him, like say he's I don't know, pick a franchise. Halo. He loves Halo. I don't know what he plays on. Get that physical, and get the stuff you like physical. What I did this generation is, because I'm all digital, I did the PS4 exclusives as physical. So I was just, if it's a God of War, Days Gone, I do all those physical because I don't really collect games anymore, and everything else I do digital. That was my way of kind of rationalizing it and limiting my amount of physical games, but I still wanted that, physical game every now and then. It's nice to open the disc and open the case, rip the plastic off. It's fun. It makes you feel like a kid. So I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the question has been answered at this point. I don't think I'm going to add anything special to it, but just the only thing I really bring to it is sort of what is a physical collector's or any other edition going to bring to the environment that I'm in, other than the game. And like, there have been times more recently, like when for instance, I've started getting into, like, I've been watching Mobile Suit Gundam a lot, and I've wanted to play those games now, and I've thought about getting those games physical because you can get them used super cheap, but they're still full price digitally. I haven't done that because I don't need more stuff, so I'll just wait until there's a digital sale on a game or anything, or I'll just wait till something new comes out. But more often than not, Like, the reason I choose vinyl over just listening to things on Spotify, which I still do because that's how I hear new stuff, is I like the idea of interacting with a record. I don't care about interacting with a game case. I really don't. And since, I've been with my partner, I've realized I need to get rid of more stuff than I need to actually start bringing on. And I've been slowly chipping away at my office space to try and do that. I don't know how I'm going to get rid of it. I don't know, because I have a lot of weird shit, like a bunch of Tales of Exilia collector's editions with anime stash. I'm like, how do I get rid of this?
There's always someone weirder.
I know. I'm not saying that, but like, I'm just like, where do I take this to get rid of it rather than just tossing it? But if I put it on eBay, not only do I have to actually package that up with some care, so I send it to the person. Like, that tends to be a lot more effort than it's worth. I just want it away.
If they want it so bad, they pay shipping and handling, and
for sure.
Have it specifically wrapped up by the people at FedEx, and you don't have to wrap anything up, and then they pay the whole thing. I mean, I'm just telling you how you.
Yeah, clearly I've not thought about this enough.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you put it in the deal. Us for. Yeah. We're supposed to be the other third of your brain. Our powers combined, you're
already doing better than my other thirds.
But I mean, that's what you can do. Put in the deal, shipping and handling you pay for, so it gets to you safely.
Yeah. I mean, and especially since I've started playing, board games with regularity, like I've started to think about, why have physical stuff that just takes up space and most of the time with games, all they do is just take up space. They don't really bring anything else.
Well, it gets rough because as you get older, you're like, man, I have so little space. I don't need more stuff. You know what I mean? I've gotten to that point. But if you look at your record collection behind you, it's you might not listen. I know you might, but say for example the Siamese Dreams, that is Siamese Dreams behind you, right?
It is. Right.
You might not listen to that for 5 years, but something might pop in your head and you could pull that record out and throw it on, and music is like a drug. It just takes you back to a point.
It's I gotta hear Cherub Rock right goddamn now.
Have that ability. Some stuff is just kind of if you haven't used it in the last 6 months, it can be gotten rid of. You know what I mean? So you reach that point. My DVDs. I don't watch DVDs anymore. I'd rather play video games and interact with the story than watch movies. And so I try to I'll take my bags of DVDs to a secondhand place to try and sell them every so often, to see if someone will buy them. And eventually I'm just gonna do a yard sale and just get rid of them. Be $1 each or some shit like that. But it's gotten to the point where it's a lot of them I don't even watch. I want to keep some of the important ones, but others I'm just I don't need this anymore because I don't watch it. I haven't watched it in 10 years. So why do I have it? Yeah. It's just I feel kind of games would be that way with me. The only reason I'm collecting the special editions of the Switch ones is just because I love those games so much and I want to support them. And I kind of it's still that part of me that's still I really like having something cool to look at. A guide, the guide is really cool and drawn, and it's got a 2-sided cover, and it's got stickers in with it, which is pretty cool. So, it just depends on what you're buying. You know what I mean?
Pick the physical stuff that's cool. Don't pick all. I mean, and I know that's a broad. For example, I did not buy a physical edition of Enter the Gungeon.
I wish I would have.
But I bought the physical version of the Ammonomicon that's in Enter the Gungeon, and I get more enjoyment looking at that than I would of just having a copy of the game.
Yeah.
When Limited Run put out Spelunky, they also put out a limited edition of the vinyl soundtrack. And the vinyl soundtrack is what I want. Not just, I mean, granted, I love Spelunky. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But having that doesn't bring anything to my house. Whereas I can now, once it actually ships, like at the end of March,
you can fill your house with the sounds of Spelunky.
Exactly. I can listen to the Yeti version of the Ice Caves anytime I want, and that smooth jazz brass is going to be awesome anytime I want, rather than just playing it on Spotify. I'll have a nice little eggplant colored vinyl spitting on my turntable right there, and I will feel super good about it, even though no one else will give a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, the most visceral reaction I will probably get from that is Reba going, "Hey, do we have to listen to a video game soundtrack right now?" And I'll be like, "Yeah," and that's totally fair. It's totally fair because if I put on Crypt of the Necrodancer just to hear Tombtorial one more time, I'll just be like, that's usually be like, we don't need to listen to video game stuff right now. Oh, look who's coming to join the party, Bagel. The show's almost over. Where you been? Wait, you finally got your 18 hours of sleep today, and now you just want to be up and about? Frickin' dog. Love that little guy, though.
Dogs are the best.
Corey, you have not weighed in on this issue.
Yeah. With a baby.
Yeah.
How many Switch cartridges has Riley put in her mouth?
None, really, because I keep them off the ground out of reach. But
okay.
I mean, still, she's going to get to them eventually, I think. Yep. So,
I mean, you've already put a tiara on her and just ruined it. So, you know.
Yeah, well.
That was a big mistake, man.
My
Despite
thing.
how adorable she looked, it was a huge mistake.
Yeah, I know. My thing is, I've been actually really thinking about getting rid of my physical stuff for a while. Like, I already have for PlayStation and Xbox stuff, but. For Nintendo, for some reason, is like the hardest one, just because like we all kind of grew up collecting the Nintendo cartridges and cases and stuff, and like I don't know, it's been the hardest just because I like seeing the Nintendo collection, and it still has that type of nostalgia thing for me. But I've been actually playing around with like the games that I really love. I'll wait for their physical copies to go on sale, and I'll pick up maybe a disc or two just to have, because I really like that game. But I've been playing around doing that with Switch too, like keeping the games that I really, really love on the Switch and getting rid of the rest of them. And just if I enjoyed the game or I'm still playing it, like I'll get it physically or I'll get it digitally. But like the other thing about Switch too is like there's no space in the system to keep the games, you know, like the 1 terabyte as micro SD card was just kind of revealed, and it's $450. You know, that's more than the system. I'm not paying that for memory for a system. You know,
what is this, Vita?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
No, that was like what, half a gig cost like $1 million.
Yeah,
so.
that was my
accurate
to you for going physical on Switch.
I mean, there's only one 100 gigabyte Vita memory card, and Martin Shkreli owns it.
To accurately answer this question, he needs to tell us what he plays on. Because if it's Switch, if it's
all over the
no, I mean, like,
if he's a PC only gamer, then this is a moot question. But
what's he gonna buy? A box with a slip of paper in it with a code on it?
That's what they are. That's
I know
what physical games on PC are.
I know, but I mean, like, my suggestion is like digital is like the way to go for sure. But if you really, really enjoy a game and like you would like to have that physical copy from really, really enjoying the game, then maybe pick it up when it's like $15 or $20 somewhere, or pick it up used at some point. But the way that like patches and DLC and, you know, take Destiny for example, that disc is obsolete, right? The Destiny disc is obsolete. That game has changed so much that like the disc is just, why even have it, you know? But a game like, you know, Tomb Raider or Assassin's Creed, like if you really enjoy those games, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a disc of that if you really enjoy those games. But I don't know. I'm kind of like in the same position as he is too, because like I like watching this stuff. I like collecting this stuff, but then it's like I don't have any room, and you know, with the baby, I don't want her putting the cartridges in her mouth because she's going to be the one baby that thinks those cartridges taste real good.
Yep.
You know, so. But my suggestion is if you want to collect stuff, like, cool, but just keep the stuff that you really love, and everything else just like, go digital. It's, to be honest with you, if PlayStation or Microsoft, if Xbox Live or PSN are no longer available, there's probably something really bigger going on in the world than like a dying company.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, and like, now I know, Corey, you still have like a lot of your Amiibo and a lot of your Switch stuff, correct?
Yeah, I've gotten rid of a lot of Amiibo though. I only kept maybe like 10 of them.
Because like I was just thinking while everyone was going through their answers to this question, what do I still have that I would actually keep? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I can think of like 4 or 5 things that I would keep. And almost all of it, actually, I could probably think of more, but almost none of that is actual games.
Yeah.
The only physical games I would continue to keep are like my copies of all the Souls games, and I have a limited edition Demon Souls that was actually a European version of the game that I found at GameStop for super cheap. And then when I looked at it online, like, it was worth way more than what I paid for it. So that's the only reason I'll keep that.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is like, if you really enjoy a game or a series, like, buy it digitally, but buy something that maybe reminds you of that series and like really makes you think of that series. Like, if you enjoy Halo, like, buy a Master Chief figurine or something.
Buy an art book or buy a like, that's why I bought the Ammonomicon for End of the Gungeon, because that's a cooler thing than just having a game cartridge.
Yeah. So
and like I'll keep my copy of the Hyrule Historia before I'll keep any physical Legend of Zelda game.
Well, yeah, exactly, because you can hopefully eventually get them digital. But
yeah, and then like I like keeping the Dark Souls strategy guide because Future Press made them into cool things.
Yeah, that's true too.
And like, I have an art book for Dragon's Crown when that was originally released, and I like looking at that more than I like playing that game. I mean, and that game's not shitting on the game. The game's amazing, but like, figure out the memorabilia that'll make it important, or that'll exemplify the importance, rather than just saying, "Hey, I have a game," and I'm not. If the game is the important part to you, that's fine too. Just, I feel like we've all just been agreeing with what Moose said originally. Like,
yeah,
it's a mix. So congratulations, Moose. You answered this question, and all of us are just riding your coattails.
Well, no, you're giving your personal opinion about it. Yeah. So, like, little touches here or there. Like, Phillips added in the buy it where it's cheapest because you have a baby. And, Corey's like, hey, I like the physical stuff built around the game than the actual physicality of a game.
Yeah, like, I found this God of War statue for $20 at my local used game store, right? And I'm like, well, I already own it digitally, but I think it's a cool statue. It'd be cool to sit on my desk or whatever, even though it probably was a bad decision at future, but that's fine.
Now that you got baby, it probably was, but it's all right. It's whatever.
Just I feel like, and I think the one real caveat here is these decisions should be made retroactively. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but like, don't decide a game's going to be important before it's released. Mm-hmm. Like, the one thing.
Well, that's what I said. Like, buy it digitally, and then if you really, really, really enjoy it, and you really feel like you need to have that game sitting on your shelf, then buy it used somewhere for $10.
The reason I say that is because, like, I bought those Tales of Exilia collector's editions before they came out, and just because I love the Tales series, and I still haven't played either of those games. So they've been in my life for upwards of 7 years at this point, and I've not interacted with them at all. I bought Infamous 2 the collector's edition.
Oh, the sweet Sly backpack.
Yeah, and I got a lot of use out of that backpack, and I platinumed Infamous too. But like when I moved here, I found the Cole statue. I'm like, I didn't even know I had this.
This one.
Yeah, and I too, like I have that on my little shelf, so, and I don't even know why, because it's been so long since I've cared about Infamous. Whereas, you know, like Reba knows how much I like Dark Souls, and she started incorporating the strategy guides into decorations in our house. So, and I feel more happy about that than owning that Cole statue. Mm-hmm. So, like, I guess the moral here is make sure that stuff is actually important rather than buying it assuming it will be. Mm-hmm.
What's up, nerds? It's Corey, and I'm pleased to announce we're giving away 2 codes for Sekiro Shadows Die Twice for PlayStation 4. One for our YouTube subscribers and one for our audio listeners. The rules are simple. For YouTube, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, screenshot your subscription, and send it to ngrradiopodcast@gmail.com along with your name, PSN ID, and why you're a fan. For our audio listeners, we'd like you to go to whatever podcast service you listen to us on, preferably iTunes, but anything works. Rate us, comment on your rating and why you're a fan, then screenshot your review and rating, and email us at ngrradiopodcast@gmail.com. This contest is for new and existing fans, so get your entries in now. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is out March 22nd, so the winner will be announced on March 18th's live episode. Join us on youtube.com/ngrradio at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time if you want to find out who won or check the following week's podcast. Thank you so much for your support. Now on with the show.